What is going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel, and this is going to be a little bit of a different video. This is not a review per se. I will be answering the question, is the Dr. Sleep director's cut worth it? The unfortunate circumstance that we're in now, it's unsettling and it's not fun, but I am happy at the fact that I can actually do videos that I've wanted to do for a while. And now I have time to talk about the difference in these two cuts. I'm not going to go into obvious scenes. I'm not going to fill you in on what is actually in the movie. I'm going to give you small details, general details, to help you understand for yourself if it is truly worth it to watch the director's cut of Dr. Sleep. I'm going to say right off the bat, the two cuts are very similar. There's not like a giant difference between the theatrical cut and the director's cut. So I want you to get that into your head right now, that I'm not going to be telling you that one is superior over the other, because I think they're both really good cuts for what they truly need to do. And I'm specifically going to talk about the director's cut. I don't want to talk about the theatrical cut. If you guys want to see my review for Dr. Sleep, I'll probably have like a title card or one of those little cards right there where you can go click on that review real quick and then come back and watch this video. So the director's cut of Dr. Sleep. The runtime for the director's cut of Dr. Sleep is 180 minutes, which is 3 hours long, whereas the standard theatrical cut of the movie is 152 minutes. So you're getting roughly about a half hour more of footage. And is it very noticeable? No, not really. The things that they add are just small little details in certain scenes that don't really have a lot of standout value, except for one scene, which I will get into a little bit more later on in the video. But there are a couple of scenes that they shed a little bit more light on what the characters are talking about in terms of the dialogue within the actual film. One of them that stuck out to me in particular is there's a birthday party for Abra, and obviously in the theatrical cut we see the magician there and her basically telling everyone, you know, I can do magic as well. After that moment, there's a little bit of a break in between when the parents are outside and they're hearing their daughter saying that she can do all this magic, and then they go inside to her actually having all of the forks and spoons on the ceiling, and then they all fall, and there's a little bit of dialogue. There's some inner exchange between the father and mother of Abra. They're talking a little bit about the party and Abra and how special she is. So there's not really like a big difference in that regard. And a lot of the other scenes that I'm not going to explicitly or exclusively talk about, it's really the small differences like that. Certain intermittence of dialogue in between characters, kind of here and there roughly. I mean, that's really what you get with a lot of the director's cut. But I want to talk about the scene, to me, that makes the director's cut actually worth it. Because the thing that I'll say about the director's cut before I talk about this one scene is I like the flow of the director's cut a little bit more. Now, again, it's not as polished or better than the theatrical cut. There's not really a lot of difference, but when you're watching the director's cut, things just kind of feel even. The pace doesn't feel so fast or rushed or even slow at times. It does kind of feel balanced, and they give you a little bit more in terms of dialogue that helps you understand a little bit more of the character of Abra and how powerful she truly is and how special she is in terms of her shine. And that's something that to me is very valuable, because watching the theatrical cut of this film, the movie feels great. I'm not saying that the pacing or anything of the film is off, but the character of Abra just seemed to be very overpowered, and there wasn't really a lot of, I guess, knowledge about who she actually was and why she was what she was, whereas the director's cut gives you a little bit more, not a ton, but a little bit more into that world of this character, and really kind of allows you to root for her on a deeper and more impactful level. And it flowed a lot nicer to me. There's just something about watching it that made me feel good. It made me feel better about the film, I think. I have a bigger and better appreciation for Dr. Sleep after watching the director's cut because of the certain elements that they do plug in that really tie in to the overall experience of watching the film. And so it's almost like you're watching the film for the first time, because you're trying to look for the differences and you can really spot them. But I do think that it does add a little bit more value, especially for someone who really loves The Shining and really loves this lore that has been created by Stephen King in terms of the Shining universe. Now let me talk about the scene that they add a lot more context, a lot more dialogue, and there's even a little bit more of an added portion that we did not get in the feature film that felt very earned and felt to me like they should not have cut it out of the theatrical cut of the movie. And that is Danny talks to Jack Torrance in the bar in the Overlook Hotel. I remember watching this scene in particular in the theater and thinking to myself, man, what an awesome moment having this guy who looks a lot like Jack Nicholson talking to Danny Torrance, and you get a very good sense of the relationship between the two and how they correspond directly with one another. How Danny has really kind of become a lot like Jack because of that childhood trauma that he had to face growing up as a kid and dealing with his dad trying to murder him in the Overlook Hotel along with his mother. They give you some more dialogue exchange between the two characters, but the most effective part is after they're at the bar. Danny goes in to the bathroom and there with him is Jack Torrance, which is symbolic of The Shining. When Jack Torrance goes into the bathroom and he's talking with Lloyd, and Lloyd we know as to be the person who killed his family before the Torrances moved into the Overlook Hotel. And it really was symbolic, and it came full circle to me because this was something that I felt like they should have added into the movie. And I don't remember it being in the movie. Correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't watched a theatrical cut since the theater, but I don't remember it being in the movie, and I don't remember that scene, because if I did remember it, it would be a scene that definitely stood out to me because it is a repetitious factor that they have, a repetitious element that they have in both the original Shining and the sequel Dr. Sleep, and I loved every bit of it. And the thing is, what makes this interesting too is that Jack Torrance this is when he gets into the mind of Danny and he's telling him, hey, we all agree, the hotel agrees that this little girl is the issue. She needs to be taken care of and she needs to be killed. And that's what really makes Danny's psyche kind of go crazy. Although it's not just that, it's also, seeing the ghosts and their effect on him, where he basically becomes the hotel. You could see the psychology kind of already start to change with Danny Torrance in this moment. And I thought that that was really, really nice, and it should have been added into the original runtime and original cut of the movie, but I'm not going to complain. Again, there's not such a big difference that I prefer one cut over the other. I think it's really just preference. What do you think works best for you? What has a better flow? Are you okay watching a film that's 3 hours long as opposed to 2.5 hours long? I mean, it just really depends on time, what you want to do. But if you want to get all the little nitty gritty details and you're someone like me who lives for different cuts of films and lives to see something added on, something extra, something that we didn't get to see before, then I think you would really enjoy the director's cut. And I think the director's cut is worth it. I think you should definitely go out and buy the movie on Blu-ray, because if you do, you will be able to get the director's cut and be able to watch Mike Flanagan's cut of the film. And I do think that it's very, very serviceable and very honorable cut of the movie that doesn't try to be better than the theatrical cut, but it works in strides by doing the little things that it needs to and impacting us Shining fans with a little bit more details into these characters and the why this is all happening. So anyway, guys, what do you think of the Dr. Sleep director's cut? Let me know down below in the comment section. Do you think it's worth it? Do you disagree? Do you agree with me? Let me know down below. And make sure you guys drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time I make a video, because with the coronavirus and being quarantined, I want to make a lot more content, because why not? I'm already home. I might as well make more videos. And if you hit that notification bell, you'll be able to know every single time I make a video. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button down below, join the community, and as always, I'll see you guys in my next video. Stay safe.